It's December 15th. In today's reading, Paul concludes his first letter to Timothy, pens the pastoral letter to Titus, and begins his second letter to Timothy. In Titus, we don't find profound exposition on doctrine like we see, for example, in Romans. Instead, today's reading, written to his two protégés, is extremely practical and characterized by personalized action verbs and commands such as be strong, pursue, and fight, hold tightly, obey, teach, guard, avoid, and reprimand. Today we don't see Paul the theologian as much as we see Paul the personal spiritual mentor. It is approximately AD 65. He has been a Christian for 30 years now, 20 of it traveling to churches throughout the known world. And in these letters, he is diligently performing a basic core function of his calling, instructing and nurturing the leaders, Timothy and Titus, that he had personally selected for leadership. These young churches needed exemplary leadership, and he saw it as his responsibility to train and mentor those leaders. The observation in today's reading is not earth-shattering revelation that is contained in the content of the letters. The observation in today's reading is that we see that Paul is just being faithful, doing his job, hand at the wheel, doing what he was called to do. Not necessarily the glamorous role that some might think, but a critical part of what God had for him, teaching leaders to be leaders. Most of our time in life is spent doing things that are required of us, working to provide for our family, being a husband, a wife, a father, a mother, or caregiver to nurture those that depend upon us. Not glamorous stuff, not always easy or pleasant, often mundane, sometimes downright difficult or worse, but essential, critical for those that depend upon us. Where would Timothy have been without Paul? Where would your loved ones that depend upon you be without you? Not everything you do for the kingdom of God will be seen by others as significant or even important. Much of it will seem mundane. But your daily work is important not only because others depend upon you, but because your work is a reflection of what God does for you. He provides for you. And when you provide for those under your care, you reflect God's glory. Your work, even your mundane work, glorifies God if done with the proper attitude. Here's today's application. Do you see your daily responsibilities as a way to glorify God? Do you embrace the responsibilities God has given you, or do you attempt to shirk your responsibilities? Wherever you are or whatever you're doing, you are a steward. And you can glorify your Father today, even in the small things. Now here's today's prayer.